All right, the Padres continue to be undefeated at home. Another win today, 2-0 over the Rockies. And I know, again, it's the Rockies, but take care of business. They're on your schedule. Win these games. And the Padres have an opportunity with Michael King on the mound tomorrow to come away with the series sweep. So, great start, obviously, to this homestand. That includes the Cubs coming up starting on Monday. And Tatis continued to show today that he was healthy. The homer in the bottom of the first, he made that sliding catch early on as well in the first inning. And then at the end of the game, final out, made also another good catch. I think he thought that he had less room because that's why he jumped. He didn't have to jump, I don't think. He had the room on the warning track there. He jumped to the warning track, not jumping once he got to the warning track. But doesn't matter. Made the catch. What an athlete. Really fun guy to watch. And Jason Heyward, he got a home run as well today. And I thought it was funny. I posted a clip of Mud trying to yell at Jason Heyward because Mud and Don, they were doing the broadcast from the top deck of the Western Metal building tonight, which I thought was great. And Heyward probably couldn't hear Mud because of how high Mud is, and not like that, but how high up on top of that building Mud was. And Heyward's all the way down there in left. But Heyward wanted nothing of Mud. And then on social media, I get obviously replies of people, not liking Jason Heyward. And one guy in particular said that he wished that Jason Heyward could hit a fastball. And what happens later in the game? Fastball, 97, boom, Heyward hits it out. So I thought that was funny. And it's good to see him be able to contribute to these Padres wins. And because obviously he was one of those guys that hasn't gotten off to the best offensive start. But it does take a whole team to have a really good season. It does. And some guys are going to have more moments than others. But when you have someone like Kyle Hart tonight with his performance going 6 shutout innings, only giving up, I think, a couple of hits. And then you have someone like Jason Heyward, who knows if he's going to be on this Padres roster come June or July or September. But he helped contribute to this Padres. I know that they didn't technically home run because still 1-0 without his home. But making it 2, I think that gives the Padres probably did give them a little bit more confidence. Although Kyle Hart was pitching well, he'd only allowed, I think, 1 hit up to that point through 5 innings. But that extra run probably is like, all right, yeah, we'll send him out there for the 6th inning. And then they didn't have to use Morahone. And so Morahone can throw the next couple of days. And today they only have to use Estrada, Adam, and Suarez. They're 3 big guys. So that was good as well. That's another good thing that happened here tonight. Um, Kyle Hart, I love that he was able to bounce back, but it's kind of like Nick Pivetta, where those that, wanted to crap on these guys because they had bad outings at Wrigley Field when it was in the mid 40s, like, was it frustrating to watch? Of course. Was I frustrated? Did I express my frustration on the show and in my reactions to these games? Of course I did, because it sucked watching that many walks and them not be able to throw strikes. But I wasn't sitting there saying that like Kyle Hart needs to go down to AAA off that one start, or Nick Pivetta, oh, he's not worth the contract. No, it's one start in Chicago. They come back and pitch in better baseball, actual weather, and look what they both do. They both had really good outings. And so Kyle Hart tonight going 6 innings, just 1 hit. So yeah, sorry, not 2 hits. No earned runs, no walks. That was another huge thing that obviously I love. Only 1 walk from the pitching staff tonight. So love to see that. 4 punch outs. And with Kyle, what I noticed was him doing a really good job of hitting the corners. And, Dylan Cease, remember in Sacramento, obviously, left a lot of pitches over the middle of the plate, hung a lot of pitches, just wasn't great with his command. Kyle Hart was really good with his command. I remember when Scan was talking during one of his reports, and up and in just dots it for strike 3. So great job from him. I know it's early, but got to give some credit to AJ Preller and those that, you know, scouted Kyle Hart, believed in him, gave him this contract, and then made the decision for him to make the major league roster over someone like Stephen Kolek. And then Randy Vasquez has had good outings this year as well. So Yes, you want Yu Darvish, you want Joe Musgrove, Matt Waldron, he's on the 60-day IL. We know what he did last year at some points in the Padres season. But so far, these guys, and we can talk about the offense as well, these guys that have come in have done a pretty darn good job and have not had us bring up the past on, oh man, I wish these guys were on the roster. I wish, and I think it's still a little bit early. I saw Chris Ello tweet about Higgy and David Peralta not being on the roster and Profar and Solano, and oh, we're not really missing those guys, right? Well, Profar TBD, and I know there's the PEDs, but like the player, I'm not talking about PEDs, but the player, yeah, I'd rather have Profar than what we have in left field right now. Although Heyward did homer, and I like Heyward as probably more of a bench guy though. Um, Solano, we'll see. Peralta too early. Let's throw Profar out because let's say the PEDs have to be included, obviously. So let's throw him out then. Peralta, that could have been an option, and he's I don't think signed yet. I think it's too early to say about David Peralta. I would have liked to have David Peralta. Higgy, too early to say because yes, Maldonado home run today. Like they can throw guys out and all that, but like Higgy that's 20 home runs that aren't here, and you're not getting 20 home runs from the catchers this season, and you're not going to get as good of an offense from the catchers. I don't think this season. So can it come from other guys that are healthy? Yes, and that can help make up for it. But it's a little bit early there. But overall, like defensively, I'm fine with the catching situation. You obviously have Gavin Sheets filling in there, like good with that. Jose Iglesias when Crony gets hurt, good with that. Lockridge, I think, has been fine, good defensively. Left field, kind of like I think what we expected. But stars are performing like stars. Xander's having a good season so far. Manny is healthy. Tatis, look at him. You know, Arise has found it. So that's a big reason why the Padres are where they're at. And then you lose Tanner Scott, but then you have like Yuki Matsui, wanted Peralta step up. So credit to AJ Preller, credit to the roster construction, credit to the guys, obviously, for what has happened so far this season. I'll talk about it more on the show tomorrow after the Padres series finale. Hopefully, the Padres sweep the Rockies. But yeah, I know I bounced around a little bit here tonight with this post game reaction, but Tatis being Tatis, good to see contributions from some other guys like Heyward tonight and just the season overall. And this bullpen continues to be lights out. They are the best bullpen in baseball, in my opinion, right now. And the Padres are, and it's probably not even just my opinion. If I were to look at the stats, it would probably back it up too. In the Padres, they have the best record in baseball. I don't care what the scores are the rest of the night. It's already secured. Just have the best record going into tomorrow's action. Oh, it's the Rockies. I don't care. They're playing who is in front of them, and they're playing good team baseball. A lot of guys contributing, and one of those was Tatis. But then you also have a non-star like Kyle Hart, and you need those to have a great season overall. It really takes a team to do that.